Hi, my name is Melissa, and I was diagnosed with stage 3C breast cancer when I was 43 years old, only 10 weeks after I had had a clear mammogram. I found a lump in my breast, and I went to the doctor, and they looked me in the face that day and told me I had breast cancer, and it was shocking to me, obviously. I was a person that exercised and took pretty good care of myself, and I had no family history of breast cancer. So it was clear to me at that moment that if breast cancer can happen to me, it can happen to pretty much anybody. Um, so I underwent neoadjuvant chemo, which is chemo before surgery, and I had 6 rounds of that, and then I had a bilateral mastectomy, and then followed with 33 rounds of radiation, and on into a full year I had Herceptin infusions for the HER2 component of my tumor. Um, and I had a great support system. I had family that came in town to stay with me during my chemotherapy treatments, and I had some wonderful friends that took very good care of me, bringing food to my house and whatnot. And I was so positive and optimistic, and I think I tried very hard to be a person that didn't appear to be sick. I wore a wig everywhere I went, and I didn't want people to look at me and think, oh my God, she's got cancer, I feel so sorry for her. I just didn't want to be a sick person, so I worked very hard at looking and trying to appear as though I felt great. Um, but I think that as I went through it, I started worrying that one day I would wake up and hit a brick wall and think, my God, I've got cancer, and that could kill me. Um, so I thought. Also, my oldest daughter was graduating from high school that May, and I thought, that could be potentially a time when it could be an emotional time, and so I felt I needed to put some tools in place to be prepared for that. So I went to my cancer center's support group. They have a monthly support group for young women. I went to the support group meeting not because I felt like I was really not doing well at the time, but really because I felt like I, needed to have this backup plan in place. So I walked in the door that night, and there were 4 women in the room, one therapist, and then 3 women who had survived breast cancer. And one was 10 years out, a 2-time breast cancer survivor. Another was 5 years out, and another woman was about a year and a half ahead of me. And they all had their hair, and they all had their health, and they all had what appeared to be happiness. So I I just ate that up. I was so empowered by seeing these women that were there, that were able to validate what I had was hoping and had hoped for, and that was I could live beyond this breast cancer and have a normal life. And to be in that room with, a bald head and no eyelashes or eyebrows, and sitting there with these women who looked beautiful and were so inspiring and understanding and compassionate, that it was the moment that I knew that cancer had changed my life. I knew at that point what my purpose was with this journey and what I was going to do when I completed my treatment. I was going to be those women. I wanted to be that person in the room when someone came in that was newly diagnosed. I wanted to help women see that healthy side of getting through this journey. So I went, and when I completed my year-long treatment, I went to the American Cancer Society and got certified to be a Reach to Recovery volunteer, which is a mentoring program for breast cancer survivors to contact newly diagnosed patients and sort of help them emotionally through this journey, because they're women that have walked in their shoes and they know how they feel, and they've been through the treatments that these women are going through, and they're able to be emotional support. I then became the regional coordinator in my area and trainer for the women that are mentoring patients. And I've now been doing that for 3 years, and it is the most rewarding work that you can imagine. And I guess that I'm coming to you today because the Army of Women ask, how has cancer changed your life? At what point did you know? And so that's my answer. I knew at that point when I walked in the room and saw survivors that was really crucial. Everybody has their strengths. A lot of my friends that have been through breast cancer have done other amazing things, started foundations, and are reaching out to women in other ways, and research projects and things that aren't necessarily my forte. I am not a science person. I barely got out of biology in college. But I knew that my skill set, having been a volunteer coordinator for many, many years, that this was something that I could do and a contribution that I could make to breast cancer. The science of breast cancer, and the research and the medical side of it is crucial. Obviously, a very crucial part to getting patients better, to hoping one day that we have no breast cancer, that we find an earlier detection, that we are a biological test that we can come up with. Those are all things that are so important, but there's a very human side to the women that are actually going through this process at the time, and they need support, and they need to believe and know that they can get through this. And a survivor reaching out to them is so different than a family member that is loving and helpful and wants more than anything to help a patient. But a survivor has a unique position in that they really, really do understand and get what a woman's going through. So I hope that if you are a breast cancer survivor and you see this video, that you will consider going and being a mentor of some kind in some program. And it could be Reach to Recovery with American Cancer Society. It may be that your cancer center in your area has a breast cancer mentoring program. There are several other kinds out there. It may mean that you just go as a survivor and sit in a group meeting so that you are that person that has made it through this journey. For those newly diagnosed patients that come in that just want to see, like I did that night that I went, and just believe that they can get through this too. Another small thing that you can do is go to the armyofwomen.org website and sign up to be a part of that foundation's research projects. They need women that have had breast cancer and women that have not had breast cancer. Check it out. If you go to their website, you can see what that's all about. The way that they contact you, send you emails, and you can see if you qualify, if you fit the demographic, or if you're a breast cancer survivor, if you have the type of cancer that they're looking for their research. But I would encourage you to do something, whether it is one of these things that I've mentioned or something else, and to give some purpose to what you've been through. I think that it is a great feeling when you can help somebody else, whether it's mentoring or research or otherwise. And congratulations to all of you that have survived breast cancer. It's a great feeling.